For Wall Street Media, I'm Mike, I'm here with Doug, and we'll help you make money in the stock market with information you can't find anywhere else.
Hey, we've got good stuff for you today.
We got a couple of video clips. First up is John Prim, CEO of JKHY and Associates, ticker JKHY. Talks about cost control measures going forward due to the economic environment.
Now, I'll tell you what, I really like this guy. This guy is a perfect Baird example. Super, solid, well thought out, right? He says, you know, we're not the cheapest, but our quality's a lot better, right? And he said, you know, when they go in and they're pitching someone to outsource the IT to them, this is a great idea. It sounds like a lot of things we do, right? He said, we guarantee you that your first year payments to outsource with us won't be more than you spent for your in-house IT budget.
Oh, well.
Right, so it's not like you're worried about like some wildly ballooning cost or something.
Right.
And I thought these are good, solid, sensible business rules that will always work.
So it's at least not a black hole.
Right.
You know what you're getting.
Oh, we're going to outsource, you know, and we're telling them $13 million, and all of a sudden, whoa, that got us through March.
Sounds great.
know?
Let's take a look at the video real quick.
We have taken certain cost control measures. We have not done a layoff, don't anticipate the need to do a layoff. You know, for an employee to be able to be productive in our world working on our systems, there's typically a 9-month or longer ramp-up time. So when you get rid of those experienced individuals, there's an awful lot of productivity lost when business turns around and you have to rehire and retrain people to perform those functions. But we have taken some cost control initiatives. We divested a subsidiary, Bank Insurance Services, that simply had not met our profitability objectives and did not look like it was going to in a time frame that we felt was acceptable. Sold that back to the original founder. In our low-end credit union product, we did some realignment from a staffing standpoint to bring the cost there a little more in line with the revenue that that particular product was going to be able to generate. In early December, we rolled out to our employees a voluntary time-off program where they could take time off at their option without pay. Over half of our employees have stepped up and taken 1 or more days of voluntary time off without pay. We announced it in early December, so we got a little bit of benefit in the December quarter from that. We'll see more benefit from it in the current quarter. We continue to maintain close scrutiny of all of our business units and make sure that, you know, we're spending money wisely. As I mentioned earlier, we tend to run a very efficient operation when times are good, which leads to, as indicated, the highest operating margins among our competitors. And at the same time, we will continue to spend money when we believe that there is a long-term benefit to the company for certain wellness initiatives that may have some costs up front but have the potential to make meaningful impacts on your healthcare related costs over the long term.
And we're back.
Don't you think that's a perfect example
Absolutely.
of a good, solid, well thought out guy?
Great management.
Yeah.
Perfect. The next video is of Jeff Park, CFO and SVP of SXCI Health Solutions, ticker SXCI. Talked about the integration of NHMC and growth strategies. Let's take a look.
So with respect to the integration and the acquisition that we made in May of 2008, pleased to say we're ahead of schedule. One of the major pieces that we had was a technology migration from their platform onto our platform. At the end of the third quarter, we announced we were 90% complete, what was initially expected to be a 5-quarter migration. And we've worked very diligently on driving more cross-market selling opportunities. So trying to drive some of the mail and specialty business that NMHC had and utilizing that into our SXC platform. As we bring forward the conclusion of this migration, we're going to continue to focus on consolidating operations and driving more cost synergy efficiencies, which I'll cover off here in a moment. But to date, we're ahead of schedule. So how do we expect to grow our business? Well, there's really a few ways, but the first and foremost is to continue to drive our PBM services. This will be a market growth area for us. We're still a relatively modest-sized player in this marketplace, and we still have a lot of opportunity to grow. As been demonstrated over the last quarter with the announcements for San Mateo and a health plan of San Mateo and Northern California, UFCW, this is a great opportunity for SXC to really differentiate itself in this PBM marketplace. We're going to continue to drive more pull-through of mail and specialty. We currently have male penetration of roughly 8%. That's less than half of the national average for male utilization. And so for us to be able to double that is a great opportunity for us to expand and grow our market footprint. Specialty pharmaceuticals, as you may imagine, is one of the fastest growing market opportunities in prescription drugs. Roughly a third of the new drugs that are in phase 2 or phase 3 trials are all specialty medications focused on oncology. This is a great growth opportunity that now we have a chance to participate in. And we're going to continue to drive more efficiencies in our purchasing. So with the combination of this business, we now have roughly 5 million lives. Those economies of scale allow us to drive better pricing for generic drugs from the pharmacies, as well as to drive better cost and rebate from the drug manufacturers. So those are great opportunities for us. We've continued to be successful in the state fee-for-service Medicaid market. This is an area where we think we sit up very well for a few reasons. First of all, fee-for-service Medicaid is very technology-centric. It's very transparent. You need to be able to provide great quality of service, and every state is different. So that sits really well with our offering. Not only does it take advantage of the technology footprint and services that we provide, but it also takes advantage of the clinical operations, the mail facilities, the prior authorizations, all the PBM services that we offer.
And we're back.
I like these guys, and the Dow ended up down 1%, the NASDAQ ended up down 1%, and I liked what he said, but so did everybody else. They are up 3.25% for the day.
Nice. We also have a couple of notes. Chris McCann, president of 1-800-FLWS.com, ticker FLWS, spoke about the downsizing of home and children's gift business segment and 10% labor force reduction implemented in January of 2009.
Yeah, you know, these guys are someone that are probably going to end up being impacted.
Absolutely,
right?
I can see that.
Rich Gordon, the Rich Gordon video, which you should be watching, it's on our site. Look it up on our site. He's a brilliant Wachovia strategist. He talked today about how it's the first time in maybe forever that Americans have actually been saving recently, and people aren't spending any money, and he has graphs and everything. And I think he said, like, all of a sudden it went from, it's been negative for forever, and now it's back up to like 3.6 or 4% savings rate. And you know as well as I do, like one of our neighbors in this building today, did you know that, are moving out the 2nd and 6th floor.
Oh, I didn't know.
If you'd like to be our neighbor, ride the elevator with us. There is space available. Yeah, 2 floors gone.
Wow.
And we see things closing all the time. And I guess, you know, you've got to lay people off in this environment and be innovators.
Absolutely, and I can see how people are not sending flowers as much anymore as they used to. It's also a little cheaper if you pick the flowers up yourself, right? So I can see how people are opting for cheaper solutions.
People are really cutting costs everywhere, man, and it's going to require some good innovation.
Well, that's all we have for now. We're here every day at Wall Street Media. You can find us directly at wsmco.com. Thanks.